Well, hello there everyone. I have a bit of a different video for you today. I'm going to try to get this video uploaded for Father's Day this year. And I want it to be a tribute video to my dad. And, for those of you that only know me through YouTube, you wouldn't know this because I never made a video talking about it and I don't have access to the YouTube community to post about it. But one of the main reasons I haven't put out any new videos or done anything in a while is that we've been dealing with some very rough times in our family. My dad passed away a few months ago. Specifically, he passed away I believe it was March 6th, 2021. So, a few months ago. Him and Mom had just come to visit me in college, and we got to have some great times together. We ate real good at a Mongolian grill and went and had some beer at a local brewery. He looked over my resume. He gave me the last adjustment he would ever give somebody, because he was a chiropractor. Gave me the last chiropractic adjustment he would ever give somebody, gave me a hug, and left. And an hour or two later, I got a call that he was in the hospital, and by the time I got there, he was already gone. Him and Mom were heading back, and he apparently had a massive heart attack on the drive back and was gone very quickly. Mom actually had to get over into the driver's seat and stop the vehicle. And even the first responders, I think when they reached him, he was already gone. And it came as a shock to me, to her, and to all my family and friends, because Dad was seemingly very in shape. I mean, he hunted, he went outside, did a lot of manual work, a lot of cleaning, lifting a lot of heavy stuff, doing a lot of work, and he seemed strong, he seemed fit, and that's one of the reasons that I admired him and thought he was such an awesome dad. He was a lot stronger than I am, but he seemed to be, for all intents and purposes, very healthy, and he just had a massive heart attack out of nowhere. It's so unthinkable that me and honestly a lot of my family, friends, and his patients that heard about it didn't think it was real. For several days, weeks afterwards, I kept saying, it doesn't feel real, and I keep thinking that one day I'm gonna sit up in bed and it's gonna all be a bad dream, or I'm gonna walk somewhere and a bald black guy in shades will hold his hands out with a red pill and a blue pill to get out of this damn simulation. But I think we all know that's not really going to happen, in spite of how crazy 2020 and 2021 are. I really hope it's a simulation, but that's probably a hollow hope. But anyway, it just seemed like nobody believed it was real, but it is. And he's gone, passed away at the age of 67. And the thing is you wouldn't think it by looking at him. I'm going to be putting up some fairly recent pictures of him here on the video. He does not look 67, I think, to a lot of people. He probably looks younger than that, but that's how good and fit and in shape he was. And I guess I just kind of wanted to make a video to talk a little bit about him and kind of tribute this Father's Day to him, because unfortunately I will not have another Father's Day with him. And it's really hard. It's tough, and I also want to extend, condolences to anybody else out there that's lost their dad, whether something sudden like this or old age or anything like that, natural causes. That it's hard, and I just hope that I make a good Father's Day video for him here. I kind of wanted to, for lack of a better way to put it, brag on him a bit and talk about why I was so proud to have him as a dad. And I think my main thing, and this was kind of emphasized when they asked for an interview for the paper, because he was a great chiropractor in Natchez. The paper asked to talk, have a few comments and stuff like that. But the thing that I said in it is that it felt like he could do anything, and that's one of my big things, is it felt like he really could do anything. He was a typical Southern guy, typical older Southern guy, so he did all the stuff that you'd expect. He hunted. He was really good at hunting. I don't know how many deer he killed over the years. And he hunted wild hogs, boars on the property as well. That's what he had those awesome AR-15s for, was to hunt them. In fact, he actually had a YouTube channel where he had some videos of him hunting wild hogs. I'll see if I can find it, and if I do, I'll put it in the description of this video. But anyway, he hunted. He spent a lot of time outdoors. He was real good in the outdoors. We had a hunting camp we went to a bunch, and tying into that, he was actually an assistant scoutmaster when I was in Boy Scouts. He got to do a lot of fun stuff as an assistant scoutmaster, like when we took a trip to North Carolina to a summer camp one year. And he almost got a perfect score in a shooting competition there, but that's here in a second. But yeah, he loved being outdoors, and almost any waking minute when it was deer season that he was not working or sleeping, he was out there in the woods hunting. He loved to hunt. Loved it. And I grew up liking it too for a while. I fell off of it when I got into like my later teenage years, high school. I lost interest in hunting. I just wanted to be home and play video games and crap. But I started going back to hunting when I got older, more mature, and to the point where I could enjoy it a lot more than when I was younger, and I didn't want to shoot everything that walked out. Now I can sit there and watch and appreciate. You're just watching deer and turkeys and other animals that come out and watch them interact and all that. Have much greater appreciation, which is something that Dad really instilled into me. He was not what's a way to put it? Not a wasteful hunter, I guess, maybe. Like, he believed in conservation and properly hunting and not thinning out herds too much and leaving good deer alive to reproduce and things like that. In fact, he sometimes got frustrated and butted heads with some of the conservation efforts and licenses and how things worked here in the Mississippi, Louisiana area. But anyway, he did all that, and like I said, he was an amazing marksman. He could use just about any firearm you gave him. He was great with rifles. He was great with pistols. We started taking classes, and he started doing stuff. And he also has a pistol that I will forever associate with him, the Springfield XDM in .40 caliber with the 25-inch barrel. That is the gun I will always associate with Dad, because he got it and he loved that gun and all that. But anyway, yeah, he could do all that. He was good with shotguns too. He had a bunch of neat. He shot single action revolvers, even like the Ruger the Ruger Blackhawk. All kinds of neat guns that he shot, and that he was an excellent marksman. Like I said, when we went to Camp Daniel Boone one year and he entered the Scoutmaster shootout to shoot skeet, they did 2 rounds of 5. The first round of 5 skeet, he got a perfect, and another Scoutmaster / Dad got a perfect. So those 2 were moved to the second round. And in the second round, they knocked out the center of the skeet target, the clay target, the orange bit in the middle. Like you've probably seen them where there's an orange center and then the outline ring is black. Yeah, they knocked out the orange part and then flung the skeet, which made them fly faster, drop quicker, and were harder to see and hit because they didn't have the yellow or the orange. Well, the guy he was against got 1 of them. Dad got 4. He missed the last one. Almost got a perfect score. And pretty much any Scoutmaster shootout he was in, he won. He was just an amazing marksman. Like I said, as you might expect from a rough and tumble Southern guy, with his Ford F-250 truck, camo hat. I always associated him with wearing camo hats. He wore baseball caps all the time. Unless he was working as a chiropractor, he pretty much almost always wore some kind of baseball cap, usually a camo one. But yeah, he had a lot of all those typical Southern, and great mechanic too. He worked at a Ford factory, or a Ford garage dealership for a while, so he was really good. We never took our vehicles anywhere for an oil change. He always did it himself, and he knew how to work on them and was really damn good at it. He was also an amazing driver, probably from all that experience of driving on the ice when he lived in Davenport, Iowa, where he went to chiropractic college along with Grandpa, because they were both chiropractors. Grandpa started it by going to Palmer Chiropractic College in Davenport, Iowa, and Dad followed in his footsteps, and they both opened their own practice. I think for a few years they worked at the same office, but eventually they each had their own offices. Then Grandpa retired, and so it was just Dad doing his office. And as far as I know, he was the only chiropractor in Natchez. I think there was one across the river in Vidalia, but a lot of people knew him. And if you come into Natchez, to this day, although I don't know how much longer it'll be this way, if you come in from the Vidalia side, go across the Mississippi River Bridge, continue along that road, you'll see the Natchez Mall on the right after a little ways. Right before that, to the left, is Dad's office, Maxwell Chiropractic Clinic. Possibly some of you that aren't around in that area, when you go by, there might not be the big granite Maxwell Chiropractic Clinic sign outside. Unfortunately. Admittedly, if anything, as the years have gone on, I've kind of started to feel bad that I haven't gone into chiropractic care and continued the Maxwell tradition, but instead I'm going to toxicology. Hopefully doing forensic or clinical toxicology. But I think Dad was still proud of me. Still proud of going into something like that, but I'm just sad that he never get to see me actually finish my education and get a job, because this was my last semester that just recently finished, and he wasn't there to be at my graduation, unfortunately. I didn't walk anyways, because I'd already graduated once before with a different degree, but I'm sad he didn't get to see it. But I still think that he would be proud of finishing, getting my degree, and going into a career that I love, just like how he loved doing chiropractic care. The only reason I think he was looking at retiring was because he just couldn't keep up anymore. I mean, despite him seeming very fit and very good for the age that he was at, I think he was getting a little tired of it, even though all the patients loved him, and he really fostered a relationship and made a lot of friends over that. I mean, a lot of patients almost took it worse than we did when they heard that he passed. They all loved him, and that's why it makes me frustrated when people talk about chiropractors being quacks, and I'm like, some of them might be, but Dad was very grounded in reality of what all he did as a chiropractor. He knew the benefits that it could give and didn't claim to be able to fix any ail of you. He knew when he was getting into something out of his league, like if he did an x-ray and found signs of cancer, he would instantly be like, hey, you need to go see an oncologist or a doctor and get this checked out. And apparently he did actually find that on a few patients and did help get them to a doctor and get the right care. He wasn't the kind of quack that said, oh, here, drink this jelly juice and that'll get rid of your cancer. No, he didn't do that. And that's why if you are a YouTuber out there or are somebody that thinks chiropractors are quacks, know that they're not. They're not all quacks. And besides, putting your spine back into place, I don't really see how you could consider that to be quackery. Maybe some of the benefits that it gives you people could see being outlandish, but I mean, why would you want your spine out of place? Am I right? But Yeah, he was an excellent chiropractor, and on top of all that, I mean, he did a lot more stuff that you wouldn't expect. He was a great cook, made his own recipes for like cake. He made venison sausage with the deer that we killed. We always made use of any deer that we harvested. We'd make sausage or jerky or venison burgers, and all of them were amazing. He was a great cook. He could sew, believe it or not. He actually fixed a pair of my pants or shorts where the belt loop tore. He actually sewed it back together, fixed it for me. He was surprisingly good with computers. He was particularly good with the like hardware aspects, upgrading and fixing mechanical problems with the computer. I'm better in the software aspect. So that was, we kind of complemented each other pretty well on that. But we even thought about, whenever I get a more permanent place when I get a job, and if I have to move somewhere and all that, and I have a nice permanent place set up, we were even thinking of building a desktop computer for me because I'm still using laptops because of how much traveling around I do. But if anybody was going to be able to help me build a computer, it would have been him. But on that note, he actually also had, despite, fussing at me sometimes about video games, you and those damn games, he actually had a little bit of a gamer in him at times. In fact, one of the big reasons I became a gamer was because not long after I was born, he was playing a game, and I still remember the startup tune of it now, and I still have the diskette somewhere here. But the original DOS Prince of Persia. The original Prince of Persia. He played it, and he figured out how to beat it. He beat Jafar, he beat the Shadow. He figured out the solution. Watching him play that a lot, I was kind of amazed at it. Was nowhere near his level when I was that young. But because of that, and him playing the sequel, I kind of grew up liking like Aladdin. Like I would dress up like Aladdin a bunch, and I would, try to play. I remember I tried to play Prince of Persia 2 a lot more. He even got Prince of Persia 3D, although we couldn't really get it to run on our computer. And I'm thinking of doing like videos or reviews or something on the different Prince of Persia games as kind of a tribute to him. But yeah, he did those. He also really enjoyed playing the original Warcraft 2. What was it called? Tides of Darkness, I think. Warcraft 2 Tides of Darkness. And he had this weird little habit where if he was playing single player, he would always leave one of the enemy's buildings, usually a farm, alive, and would basically strip the entire map, mine all the gold, all the oil, and all the lumber, and then would finally destroy the last building. I guess so he just 100%ed each map. It was just kind of a funny little thing that he did. We also tried to play multiplayer once, and that didn't go well because I was still young, so he kind of stomped me. And there were a few LAN games we tried to play together as well. So he had a little bit of a gamer in him in spite of how much he fussed at me. And he also really enjoyed watching when I played The Long Dark on stream once. In fact, he even taught me something. I was wondering why you lose hydration in that game if you eat meat. And he was, oh, when you digest protein, your body uses up water. Okay, that's cool. He really enjoyed that. I think he actually would have really liked that game if he ever got into playing it. Same with the Hunter Call of the Wild, which I'm sad I never got to show him some of the deer that I got on there. I'm sure he would have loved that too, but because God, he loved hunting. But kind of along those lines, I've actually gotten into the habit over the past couple of years of putting him into games. And so far, it's only about 2. But 2 or 3 years ago, I put him in XCOM 2 War of the Chosen when I found out about the soldier bond mechanic. And I think I made him pretty close to how he is, or how he was, with the camo baseball cap and the beard and all that. And I even made a little video of that, which I plan to re-upload here on YouTube at some point for everyone to see, because it was only uploaded on Facebook originally. But I plan to upload it here so y'all can see it. Pretty much unedited, except for maybe a little beginning bit explaining it. But the reason that I put him in XCOM and later on other games like Wasteland 3 is because I looked up to him that much. I was very, very proud to have Rick Maxwell as my dad. Like I said, it felt like he could do anything. He could shoot, he could hunt, he was strong, could defend himself, he was smart, he had medical knowledge. He was a doctor. He was qualified as a doctor, chiropractic care. He knew a lot of that stuff very well. He could cook, he could drive very well, he could sew, work on computers, mechanics. It felt like he could do just about anything, and that's why I was so proud of him. And that's why I'm sad he's gone, At the very least, I'm proud for the time that I had with him. But anyway, kind of getting back on track. I put him in games because I looked up to him that much, and I felt like he was that strong. Like especially XCOM, a grizzled Southern man fighting against alien occupation as a sniper. Because that's what I did. I'll put myself into a lot of these games, and I'll usually play like a medic class or something or a cleric or something like that. So I play the specialist, and then he's a sharpshooter, and I make him a balanced sharpshooter. Instead of just going down one side of the tree, I go back and forth because he was good with pistols and he was good with rifles. So I could see him doing both. Like I said, I put him in Wasteland 3 and gave him like sniper, a little bit of small arms, mechanics. I think I'm going to do some survival on him if I have enough points for it, that kind of stuff. But that'll actually look up to him. And any time that I find the opportunity, I'll probably be putting him in more games. Like ones where you can make your own characters and have like guns and stuff like that, rifles. I'm actually considering, and I haven't decided if I want to do it yet, of starting a new game of Fallout 4 and making him as the player character. But the reason I don't want to do that is it just feels weird with the storyline of 4. Trying to find the son and all that. It just feels kind of weird, but I can maybe disconnect from it or maybe do an alternative start mod. I don't know. But I think he would kind of fit in that game, especially compared to like New Vegas and stuff like that, because 4 is a lot more kind of woodsy area and stuff like that. And he would definitely be in the Minutemen and all that. But yeah, I guess I just kind of wanted to make this video as a tribute to one of the best dads I could have ever hoped for. I thank God that I had a dad as amazing as him, and I'm really going to miss him, but I want to do everything I can to kind of have him live on through me. I don't know how well I'll be able to do that, but I'm going to try, damn it. I'm going to try. Anyway, for anyone that stuck around this long, thank you. I know it's just a stream of consciousness rambling about my dad, but I wanted to do something for him. At the very least, a little tribute video talking about how much I loved him and whatnot. But I also probably want to make more, but they'll probably be released after Father's Day. Things like I said, the original upload of the XCOM video. I'm also thinking of doing a new version of it with the new Game of War of the Chosen that I have with different mods and a revamped design for both him and my character. I'll put some screenshots up right now of the new versions of us that I've started doing and done some of the pictures in the game, the propaganda poster stuff. But I want to do an updated, like a remake of that video with that version of him, maybe. So I want to do that, and I'm also thinking of doing like kind of a tribute video to both him and Grandpa, where I do like a marksmanship challenge that Grandpa apparently did when he was young, where you have to strike matches using bullets by firing at the matches and striking them. I want to do that with both the rifle that he gave me and Dad's .22 that he won from the NRA, that he also attached a suppressor and had subsonic rounds. So in addition to doing the little challenge and doing it with Grandpa's rifle as a tribute to him, since he was originally the one that did it, that I also want to do a second round of it using Dad's .22, so you guys can hear what a subsonic silenced .22 sounds like. I just thought that would be really neat to show. But I'm thinking of doing those, and I might do more, depending on how people react to these. I'll think about it. Again, sorry I haven't really been making any videos, but I think with this, you guys can kind of understand why that was the case. But for now, everyone that did sit and watch this rambling stream of consciousness video from me, thank you. I really appreciate it, and I guess if you have a dad that you're proud of, that you love, just remember to hold them close, because you never know when they might just be gone. I know a lot of people say crap like this, but sometimes it takes something like that happening to you to realize just how true it is. So, be thankful for your fathers. Everyone have a good Father's Day. I'll see you next time. And as I sign off here, I want to insert one last little thing. One of the things I remember about Dad is at the office at the chiropractic clinic, he had a answering machine message that he had most of the time, unless we were going for a trip or the ice storm was happening or stuff like that, where he would change it. But other than that, he always had a answering machine message that he only slightly modified over the years, changing it from when used to he would have Thursdays where he only came in by appointment, but then he eventually just took Thursdays off, just period. That was the only thing he changed. Other than that, this answering machine message has been completely unchanged in the 20, 30 something years that he worked there, at least since I've been alive. This answering machine message has been almost unchanged. I recorded it with my phone when we, went back up and were, kind of checking the messages and stuff like that. I went on ahead and recorded it with my phone because it's a very special sound to me. So I just feel like I'd kind of insert it here so y'all can hear it too. And again, thank you all for being here. I'll see you next time. Thanks again.
Hello, you've reached Maxwell Chiropractic Clinic. We're not in the office at this time. Our regular office hours are 8 to 12 and 2 to 6, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday. You may call back during the regular office hours or leave a message at the sound of the tone. Thank you for calling.